and for the operation you carried out, all the civilian components, according to you on record, are people you had previously worked with and can confirm that they belong, to the best of your knowledge,
yes,
to the national security?
Yes, my lord.
Very well. Now, DSP, from the picture I showed you,
Yes, my lord.
we saw these men in a vehicle with the police symbol or insignia, if you like.
Yes, my lord.
Is that a police vehicle?
Yes, it's the vehicle which is on charge at the National Security SWAT unit.
If you say it's a vehicle on charge, what does that mean? For the benefit of the civilian ear.
Yes, when I was taking over as the commander, it was part of the vehicles that were bequeathed to me by my predecessor in the handing over. His handing over notes.
Did your predecessor tell you where he secured the vehicle from?
My predecessor also took over from from the previous government. Is ASP Charles Bedu, who is currently on a UN mission in Sudan. He handed over those vehicles and all other materials at the unit to him. And he also handed same to me.
DSP, to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, my lord.
Do all police vehicles have a GP number?
No, my lord.
Now, would you be surprised if I tell you, for instance, that we have evidence given in this court by the Director General of Police in charge of operations that that vehicle does not belong to the police? Would you be surprised?
I can't, my lord. I am not in the position to answer this one. My lord, I would like to make a point clear.
Yeah, sure.
Those vehicles, according to the information that I have,
Very well,
was that they were given to the unit since the year 2012. But as to how they were given, who gave and what, I cannot tell.
DSP, first of all, you were in the area for confident building patrol. Am I right?
Yes, please.
And the election task force was also operating in the area. Am I right?
Yes, please.
And you were aware of that?
Yes, please.
Did they know of your presence in the area? The election security task force. Were they aware that you and your men were also operating within the same perimeters?
My lord, due to the nature of the expanse of the constituency, I don't know which of the task force you are meaning, because they are electoral areas.
Very well. Let me help you.
Yes, sir.
For every election, there is security task force. Are you aware?
Yes, please.
Very well. That is those officially tasked with manning the polling stations.
Yes, please.
And your team was not one of them.
Yes, please.
Very well. And now you were going to carry out an operation.
Yes, please.
In their area.
Yes, please.
Which you have admitted is not too far from one of the polling stations.
Yes, please.
Did you find it prudent to inform the election security task force?
My lord, since our mandate, our our mission that morning was not related to elections. I did not find it prudent at that moment to let them know our intention. Because if I tell them that we are in the area, the next question is, what are you coming to do? You know, and intelligence, our intelligence, which we are gathering, may be violated. And that's why, didn't find it prudent.
Now, DSP, let me put this directly to you. There is a belief by a cross-section of our society that you and your men on the day were not at the vicinity for the said surveillance operation you claim. What do you have to say?
My Lord, I would like to confirm to this commission that we were there for the purpose for which I've already stated.
Now, have you, subsequent to your operation, written an after-action report, DSP?
Yes, please.
Do you have a copy available for the commission?
Yes, I have the sheet that I sent to my immediate boss, that is the Director Operations National Security, and also my statement I made to the CID investigators. I made a report.
Very well.
Yes, the CTREP and the report. I think I have the CTREP here.
Very well. If you say CITREM, what do you mean? For the civilian mind.
Situation report, my Lord.
Still live at the third day of the hearing of the Justice and Short Commission into the A.W.W spoken by-election violence. And we've been hearing from DSP Samuel Kojo Azugu. He's still before the commission answering some questions. Just gone by, he's responded to issues of the vehicle that was used by his SWAT team.
Keep it.
Very well.
He's also been responding to a report, a situation report after the incident. Some highlights of his testimony so far is that they didn't go back to finish that operation for which they went into the area, and said that they decided, or according to him, he decided to abort the operation because of probable loss of human life and because of the by-election. He didn't mention that, well, to him, they were tactical when they arrived at the scene, and also spoke about the fact that they tried to keep the situation under control. We are yet to hear questions directly from the commissioners to him. We'll be expecting that shortly. But this has been an interesting hearing compared to all we've heard since this started. Kojo Youngson is still here with me. Kojo, so we've been hearing, again, another controversial subject has to do with the vehicle that these SWAT team, the masked men, were seen in, and DSP Azugu has been responding to that.
Indeed, he said that to his knowledge these vehicles are police vehicles, that they were handed over to the National Security Team in 2012, which from his testimony would be before his time. So he's unable to determine who gave them to the National Security Team and under what circumstances they were given. But his knowledge of the matter is that they were given by the police. He also sought to address the issue of the individuals in the national security operatives and the question of whether or not they were in fact employees of national security as opposed to some other individuals. And he was adamant that to his knowledge they were employees of national security. He was aware of their movements and he had worked with them and knew them all intimately, as intimately
Have
as
you
one
learned
can.
any lessons from what took place at Labawoleshi?
My Lord, truly and truly, a lot of lessons have been learned from this unfortunate incident.
Would you like to share with the Commission the lessons you have learned?
My Lord, I believe with the commission in place, every information that will have not been made known to the generality of Ghanaians will come out, which will inure to any future programs by either political parties, civil organizations, religious leaders, chiefs, and people of Ghana, so that whatever lessons that will be learned from this incident can put us in a better state to move Ghana forward.
Yes. What you have just told me is the expected recommendations of the Commission. The question I asked you was about personal lessons, which will also help the Commission in its recommendation. Have you learned any personal lessons going forward, and what are they?
My Lord, I will never wish this situation that I found myself on any person, even including my enemies. Because, come to think of it, an officer in charge, an operation, with good intention. Because whatever we were going to do there was not on personal basis. It was for the interest of the security of the country as a whole. And if it has turned out like this, me as a person, my name has been bungled around, in both positive, negative, political, and whatever. I have families, I have kids. They watch TV, they see their father being bastardized. Even though I know from deep from my heart that I'm doing my best to contribute to the country. So, my honorable commissioners have learned a lot of lessons from it. And I'll move forward taking that into stride.
DSP, finally from me, are you putting it on record that you do not know how, for instance, this person who is said to have sustained a gunshot wound to the leg, you do not know how it happened?
My Lord, yes, my Lord.
Mr. Chairman, your witness. My Lord, if I may.
Well, it appears DSP Azugu didn't give that one specific answer and any lesson learned, from his entire submission. I don't know if you got anything, but I was paying a lot of attention.
He confirmed that he has learned lessons.
But he didn't tell us
didn't say what lessons he had learned. He talked about how this ordeal had played out for him, but no lessons.
Yes, my Lord.
According to your evidence, you had where you went.
Yes, my Lord.
You used the word file. That is the intelligence you got, right?
Yes, sir. Stockpiling of arms.
Yes, okay. And so your mandate was to go and investigate whether this intelligence was true and to retrieve the stockpile of arms if they were being stored illegally. Is that not so?
Yes, my Lord. Our mandate there was not to investigate, but to go and possibly cordon off the place, then conduct a search. It will have been in stages. First, we will cordon, we will position the men around the facility to secure it from infiltrators, those who may go out or come in, to enable us to approach the facility through the gate and conduct whatever search that we may conduct.
So you secured the place?
Oh, my Lord, when we arrived there, as I've stated, we were in the process of even positioning ourselves on the main road because there was no thoroughfare for vehicles to the house. So our vehicles have to be parked on the field, on the open space, including the main road along the Bawaleshi route. So we didn't even go to that facility. We were yet to settle down. And that's why I stated that when we arrived, we realized that there was, disruption in free flow of traffic. So we were trying to control and open up for vehicles to ply freely because it was a working day.
So there was no thoroughfare to the house, so you parked your vehicles on the street?
Yes, sir. And some on the park, on the open space, the football field, the school football field, the edge of it, some of the vehicles, because we were 10 in a number, even if we say we are going to park along the road, it will, impede traffic. So some have to move onto the field and park off the road.
After that, did you instruct your men to act so that you could go to the location and secure the place?
My Lord, I gave specific instructions to them that they remain in their vehicles until I ordered them to come down. And that was why I even told you that I took it upon myself to control the traffic. Because we were so circumspect about our movement because of the ongoing elections on the main building, just about some meters away from the main road. So I was trying to restrict the movement of the men. So I asked them to stay put in their vehicles. And myself, including my driver, were directing the traffic to create space for other vehicles to move.
You went there for a specific mission.
Yes, sir.
On the basis of intelligence you had, that there was a stockpile of weapons.
Yes, sir.
So what business did you have with controlling traffic?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go immediately to the location? And if there was no way of taking the vehicles there, why didn't you get your men to alight and then go and secure the place?
Yes, sir. That was when I was about to commence any possible deployment, that I saw the motorbikes coming from the other direction, which attracted my attention. So that was where everything started. When I saw the motorbike and the honorable MPs arrived. From there, there was this banter as to why they should leave the place because, according to them, they were coming to protect the ballot, of which I told them that, look, the state has made enough provision for security, so their presence was not needed, and they didn't see reason with me, and there was a little banter. Even some of them tried to take pictures, including the deputy women's organizer, which resulted in a little altercation, but it was solved because Honorable Okovondapoy stepped in and we resolved that issue amicably.
Okay, after you resolved that altercation, did you and your men then proceed to the house?
So, because I was insisting that those on the motorbikes, the pillions, because some of them were carrying 2 passengers, some were carrying, 1, the pillion. So they dropped from the motor, and the motors moved away to the back of the building. Now, those who dropped, I was insisting that they should leave the place because their presence may hamper our deployments, whatever we are coming to do. So I was making sure that they should leave the area. And I even pointed out to Honorable Judge, Sam George, that my Honorable, these men, you cannot account for them. I know very well, maybe you didn't even contract them to come and escort you. From their own volition, they will come and join you. But if something happens, you may not even be able to account for them. So it is in your own interest for you to advise them to leave the place.
Okay, at what stage did you then proceed to the house? Was it when you heard a gunshot?
My lord.
At what stage did you, after you had resolved this issue about motorbikes with Sam George, at what stage did you then proceed to the house where you had intelligence that there was a stockpile of weapons?
My lord, after everything settled,
yes,
they decided to move away.
Okay.
And moved to the back of the back of the school building where our target was, the facility we were supposed to go and conduct the search was. So when they moved there, not quite some time, we heard a gunshot. And
one gunshot?
Yes, one gunshot.
Okay.
So it attracted everybody's attention. So I asked some of my men to drop from the vehicles and follow me to the scene. And that time when we were proceeding, I even saw the Honorable Sam George also trotting towards that direction. Lo and behold, when we turned the bend from the main building, which leads to the location where the gunshot was heard, we saw young men, heavily built young men, who were surging towards where we were coming from. Some throwing stones with gunshots in the background. To be frank, we were completely taken aback because we didn't expect to see that spontaneous reaction from that group of people. So I told my men, the policemen, to give warning shots. So we also give warning shots. These men who were advancing towards us and throwing stones and firing in the air were also alarmed, and they decided to disperse and run back to the building, apparently where they came from. So they started running. Whilst they were running, there were still gunshots at the background. So most of them were able to, because the gate which was open was a narrow one, most of them could not gain access before it was locked. So they couldn't enter. So there I said, no, I don't understand. Even I had, because I had a stone hit my shoulder bone here. It landed on my shoulder bone, but after some days of massaging, it subsided. So I said, no, I will not allow these boys to go scot-free. We will arrest them for them to answer why they should put up this behavior. Those who were firing, we didn't see them. They were in the compound, in the yard. And I don't know whether they were outside and ran inside and locked themselves or not. Because of the numbers, we could not see from their back what was happening at the back. But when most of them entered, the rest now did not know where to go. So we decided to run helter-skelter. Then I asked my men to arrest some of them. So we succeeded in arresting 9 of them. And some of them surrendered and they were taken to the vehicles. But whilst sending them to the vehicles, I think some decided to avoid lawful arrest by trying to run away, trying to put up resistance, and the kind of the minimum force that we all saw was applied on them. That is to quote that they try to subdue them and bring them under proper arrest. So I asked them that they should put them in the vehicle so that I'll send them to the police station.
Okay, so you had several gunshots coming from inside the compound.
Yes, my lord.
How many gunshots did you hear?
My lord, I can't put a number on that.
Approximately.
I know we shot 6. But
warning shots.
Yeah, 6 warning shots. Yes,
warning shots, I assume to be you shoot in the air.
Yes, my lord.
Not at any particular person or.
Yes, my lord. We give warning shots, my lord.
Yeah, warning shots are shot in the air.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. Now I'm saying that you can't give an approximate number of gunshots you heard from inside the compound. Roughly. Have you seen the video in which it is said that there were 49 gunshots on that day?
My lord, I've seen the video, yeah. I've heard the audio, but I can't vouch for that
number.
The authenticity of it.
Okay, But you were there, and I want you to tell me approximately how many gunshots you heard from inside.
From inside?
The car. Yes.
Yes, about between 20 and 30, but I can't put an exact number on it.
Okay. So it means that the intelligence which you had, that there was a stockpile of weapons in this location, was confirmed by the gunshots you heard within the compound, right?
My lord, I believe so.
Okay. So wasn't that then your duty to make sure that you enter the house and retrieve the weapons and find out exactly how many weapons were there and whether the weapons were there legally or illegally?
My lord, yes. But that's why I stated that reinforcement was called in, because our purpose was to go and cordon off the area and conduct a search. But because those plans were not able to be material, because before we operate, we make sure that we secure the area so that no other person who may fall victim to a possible gunshot from the operation that may take place within or without the facility may be harmed. So we make sure that we secure the environment with our men before I lead and go and confront the occupants of the building. But because we were not able to, as a result of the issue that arose, we could not put those measures in place. In our attempt to execute that, by all means, may result in whatever we term as preventive measures in the arena of operation. So that's why we decided to withdraw, so that when the police task force which arrived, by all means, would take charge of security of the house and maybe.
Okay, so you had 25 policemen who were armed.
Yeah, no, only 10 were armed, sir.
10 were armed.
Yes, sir.
And then you have 35 security operatives.
Yes, sir.
And then you asked for a backup.
Yes, sir.
And did you get a backup from the police?
Yes, sir.
How many people came?
I cannot put a number because apparently they were a standby force for the area. So they are stationed at Legon, and it was very proximate to the place. So when the call was placed for them to come, they arrived on time and took charge of the place, before we moved from the location.
So why didn't you then enter the house to accomplish the mission that you went there for? That's what I want. I want to understand why you aborted the mission. You had 60 people. Then you had assistance from the East Legon police. Why did you abort the mission? You knew that there were weapons, a stockpile of weapons in the house. Why didn't you proceed to enter the house and take possession of these weapons, or find out exactly whether they were being lawfully stored there? That's what I want you to explain.
Okay, my lord, we were there. Even our presence there.
Listen, before you answer, you are trained, I assume that you are trained to deal with such situations. You have information that there are weapons in a particular location.
Okay.
Are you not trained to be able to go and retrieve the weapons?
My lord, we could not underestimate the firepower which was coming from the compound. And for that matter, to avoid the situation from degeneration, we have to withdraw tactically, so that since the police had come there, they will secure the place, they will conduct investigations, because we could not execute our intended action based on the fact that, there was a disruption.
Yes, so you abandoned your mission and you handed it over to the police that came. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, my lord.
And did the police then implement your mission? Did the police attempt to go into the house to retrieve these weapons?
Yes, I'm yet to be informed about whatever was found in the house.
But do you know whether the police entered the house?
They eventually, I know from the videos that I have watched, I've been informed also that the police finally entered the house.
Not from videos. Didn't they tell you what happened?
Yes, the operations commander, Accra region, confirmed that the police finally entered the house.
And what did they find when they entered the house?
My lord, that is what the incident that occurred up to now, I don't understand why it happened. Because I believe strongly that the kind of insurgents or the spontaneous throwing of stones and shooting within the compound may be a ploy or subterfuge that they use to maybe clear whatever was in the house through any means. Because as I'm talking to you, me myself have not been able to enter the house, because since that period I've never been to the house myself.
You said the police entered the house.
Yes, my lord.
And do you know whether they found weapons there and whether they secured the weapons?
I can't confirm, my lord.
You haven't received any report since the 31st of January?
Because the police is still, they are still investigating, so, maybe they have not made it privy to some of us who are not in the investigation department.
Are you saying that you were overpowered or overwhelmed by what the gunshots you heard and the people who were there, so you abandoned your mission?
My lord, to say overpowered, overwhelmed, based on the fact that, as I stated to you, when we move into operate, we make sure we secure the perimeter. We cordon off so that we make sure nobody approaches our site where we operate, so that when the need arises for guns to be fired, no innocent civilian minding his way will fall victim. And because when we had not put such measures in place as a principle of deployment, we could not execute our intended action to the maximum.
Okay, your reinforcements came.
Yes, my lord.
While you were there.
Yes, my lord.
Didn't that make it easier for you to accomplish your mission? Both your team plus the reinforcements that came.
My Lord, yes, we could have done that.
Yes.
But because of what happened, I believe strongly at that moment that whatever evidence or whatever thing that was in the house will not have been met, because it may have been tampered with or removed from wherever it was, because of the unprovoked nature of the conduct of the people in the house. The way they surged forward towards us. My Lord, if these warning shots were not fired, I don't know what would have happened to me, my men, and even the MP who was also running towards that direction. I don't know. So the reason for them to do that, as of now, I don't understand. I can't put anything on it to fathom why they conducted themselves in that way. So probably, I believe strongly that they did that to possibly clean the mess in the house before any person can lay hands on them.
All right, I'll move on. I'm not satisfied with your answer, but I'll move on. You said the vehicle, the police vehicle that was used,
Yes, my Lord.
was allocated to the SWAT team in 2012.
Yes, my Lord.
Okay.
Somewhere 2012.
Yeah. How many vehicles were allocated to the SWAT team by the police service?
My Lord, I can't. The origin of the vehicles to the National Security SWAT, I cannot pinpoint any information on them. The only thing I know, my Lord, is that when I was assuming office, there was a handing over note from my predecessor, which clearly indicates the vehicles and all the materials on charge national security, and I actually inherited it from him.
You said you went with how many vehicles?
10 vehicles, my
10
Lord.
vehicles.
Yes, my Lord.
Including the one that was marked police. Well, that's different.
Yes, sir. We had 3 marked police vehicles in that operation, sir.
Okay. Now, you heard the statement by the IGP that he did not know those vehicles. Have you heard that in the media?
Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord.
So is it not surprising to you that the IGP did not know about the existence of those vehicles in the National Security SWAT team?
My Lord, he may say that based on the fact that the vehicles on charge national security, we don't rely on the police for maintenance, for servicing. All our maintenance and servicing requirements are addressed to the National Security Coordinator, who provides funds for the maintenance. So I believe that's what informs the IGP to say he's not, because it may not reflect in his records at the headquarters.
Since there are police officers in the SWAT team, the National Security SWAT team,
Yes, sir.
isn't the IGP familiar or know about the operations of these police officers in the National Security SWAT team?
Yes, sir. He's aware, he's familiar, because the Director General Operations on weekly basis attends security meeting with the national security heads at the headquarters. So he briefs him on whatever is going on. But about the vehicles, that one, since time immemorial, even if this issue had not cropped up, me myself, I did not know how those vehicles were brought to the unit since 2012. We came and met them, and we are using them. And it's like, so even some of the numbers, most of the numbers are not police numbers. They are operational national security numbers on the vehicles. Even though you see SWAT on them, but that's the situation.
All right. These men who were masked, who were they?
I was operating with them.
Yeah, how many of them were masked?
My Lord, as I stated already, depending on the nature of the assignment, sometimes we go and lay ambush somewhere, and we become prey to mosquitoes. So we have a particular gear that you wear that covers your neck and your face so that you will not get mosquito bites. So some of them, when we are moving, they put them on them as a precautionary measure. So at a point, they decide to put them on based on the area that they reach, because there's no need for the general public to identify that, hey, this is this man going, this is this man going, because he comes back into that same community and fetch for information, fish out for a lot of intelligence, which he brings to the notice of the national security on which we operate. So based on the location that they are, they don't wear it, but when they get to areas that they know this man will identify me, this man will identify, then they put it,
If I understand what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
The people who were masked were people who either came from that community or knew the community and had provided information, and that is why they were masked. Is that what you're saying?
Not in that situation, my Lord, per se.
On this particular operation, why were they masked?
I'm yet to get that information from
You didn't know?
I'm yet to, my Lord.
Are you aware of any policy which determines when members of the SWAT team would be masked? Is there any policy on that issue of wearing masks?
Yes, my Lord.
What is the policy?
That is...
You mentioned maybe they want protection from mosquitoes and so on, but this was an operation during the day.
Yes, my Lord.
This particular operation, you say you cannot tell why some of them were masks. Yeah, definitely it wasn't for protection from mosquitoes.
Yes, my Lord. I use that example to buttress the fact that in preparation for a possible, staying outside overnight, they keep those materials on them so that if our operations takes us deep into the night, they bring them out and use it. But whilst on that particular day, those you saw in masks, I am yet to know why they decided to put it on. I have to admit that.
Even though you were in charge of the team?
Yes, my Lord.
You didn't know why?
Yes, my Lord. I'm yet to know, sir.
Now, you knew that there was a polling station nearby where you went with your team.
Yes, my Lord.
Do you think it was prudent for some of your men to be in masks close to that polling station? Don't you think that creates fear and panic among the civilians who would be engaged in voting?
My Lord, as I've already indicated to you, we didn't go there purposely for the elections. But if I see any of them masked whilst operating, I'll ask him why he has put on the mask. So that if he didn't give me any tangible explanation, I asked him to demask.
But on this occasion, you did not ask them why they were masked.
I couldn't, because of the reaction, the way, turn of events, due to the turn of events. My Lord, all these things from when we heard the gunshot, it took it lasted just about 15 minutes, space of 15 minutes, approximately 15 minutes.
And when you set off, were these people not masked?
No, sir.
So at what stage did they put on the masks?
I believe when we reached the grounds, because if I had seen them wearing masks, I'll ask them to remove them. If you don't give me a tangible reason, I'll ask you to remove it.
But when you got there, you saw that they had put on the masks, and you didn't ask them, or you didn't get them to remove the masks.
My Lord, I indicated that we were stationary in our vehicles. I asked them nobody to drop down until we started moving towards, and as the commander, I have to be at the forefront. And I wouldn't have the luxury of time to, in the midst of all those that chaotic situation, to go about asking them with all due respect. So it was after the whole incident that I realized that some of them had actually put on their masks, even though they were not supposed. Some of them were, but some are from the locality who have the legitimate right to, mask themselves to avoid being identified as a national security, not for them to be identified that they have come to operate in the area, but to give them out so that their effectiveness as informants, surveillance officers will be neutralized. So that is the basic reason why some of them masked.
All right. You got to know from the media that some people sustained gunshot wounds, right?
Yes, my Lord.
Do you know where and how they sustained gunshot wounds?
My Lord, when we arrested the 9, as a matter of fact, if I had seen anybody apart from the 9 that we arrested, and including the person who is being shown, who is now at 37 with the alleged gunshot wound, I would have picked him up in addition to the 9, but because of his situation, we'll make sure that we rush him to the nearby clinic, but we will still be under arrest because he will be a potential witness to the investigations. But we didn't see, I didn't see anybody with a gunshot wound on the leg. No, my Lord, I didn't see. Those that we laid eyes on in my presence, those are the 9 that we arrested and sent to the police station.
Okay, this person who you said, you now know that he sustained gunshot wounds and is at the hospital. Have you interviewed him?
My Lord, as I've stated, I can't even confirm that the injury is from gunshot. I can't confirm. But
have you interviewed him?
Myself?
Yes. Or
No.
your many member of your team?
No, you see, I'm the leader of the team.
Yes.
So if, my Lord, if I don't interview him, I don't think any of my men can go and interview. But I know for sure the investigators have gone to interview him from the CID headquarters.
Okay. Do you know his name?
I can't recollect his name. I can't keep it.
The SWAT team, was it a standing team or was that team composed for this specific operation?
Yes, sir. It was composed. You know, sir, depending on the nature of the operations, sometimes we add women because we have some 2 women on our strength. There are some operations which need the presence of women, so that when you go, you use the women to confront women if there will be any body search or something, because a man cannot search a woman; it's not allowed. You know, so that this particular event, the men that we used were well oriented that this is what the possibility of us going to conduct cordon and search operation. So that's what we put in their mind during the briefing.
All right. You have an armory, right?
Yes, please.
National Security has an armory.
Yes, my Lord.
The weapons you took for this operation came from the armory.
Yes, my Lord. That is the National Security SWAT unit. Yes, sir.
They have an armory.
Yes, sir.
And when they go on operation,
yes, sir,
they get their weapons from that armory.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many empty shells
yes, sir,
did you recover from this operation?
Yes, sir.
Apart from the 6 which you said you fired?
Yes, sir. The 3 police officers I ordered to fire. One fired only 1 gun, 1 shot. The second fired 2. Then the third fired 3. And they, I made sure they positioned them. So immediately they fired, they bent down and picked the shells. They bent down and picked the shells. Because I made sure that I told them, pick the shells. So they picked them. And they are all accounted for.
What about other empty shells? Did it not come to your notice that there were many other empty shells which were found at the location where the incident took place?
Yes, my Lord. After my interest was my boys recovering the shot that they fired, because it is so far as it is a warning shot, you have to account for each shot. So I asked them to pick the empty shells, and from there we because these people were pestering us, pelting us with stones, and we hearing gunshots from the inside. I could not even look on the ground to look for empty shells, my Lord.
All right, let me just ask you a few questions. Lastly, on the command structure of the SWAT team.
Yes, my Lord.
So you report to whom?
My Lord, police administration-wise, I report to the Director General Operations, Police Headquarters. That is on administrative issues concerning police.
But on operational issues?
Operational issues, I report direct to my Director, Operations, National Security, who is Colonel Michael Opoku. I report to him direct. Then if the information, needs to be given to the police, he will give it to the Director General Operations Police, Ghana Police.
And he is under, who does he report to?
Director General, yes. Director Operations.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in charge of the national security operations. So he reports directly to the Minister, National Security.
The Minister?
Yes, my lord.
By the Minister, you mean...
National Security Minister.
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
Honorable
Mr. Kenda, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What about Mr. Brian Achampo, the Minister at the Presidency for National Security?
Yes, my lord.
Who reports to him, and how does he relate to the Minister in terms of operations?
My lord, that one I can't tell.
You don't know?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, DSP Azugu.
Azugu, my lord.
Azugu, for your testimony. You said you've been in this SWAT unit for a year?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. Do you have any idea when the SWAT unit was formed?
My lord, it's quite a long time. Probably over 20 years.
Over 20 years?
Yes, my lord.
The people you were in the team with at this time?
Yes, my lord.
When did they join?
Most of them were transferred to the unit on resumption of this present government.
So they've been there since 2017. Did you go and meet some of them there when you took over?
Yes, my lord. I met almost all of them because I'm the latest addition over a year now.
You're the latest addition.
Yes, my lord.
Does the SWAT unit have any relationship with the FPUs?
My lord, do you mean the national security?
The SWAT team in the national security and the FPUs in the police, do you have any relationship?
Yes, my lord. Sometimes we collaborate with them on operation when we are conducting operations outside Accra and even within Accra. Sometimes we invite them to join us to assist in some of our operations.
You indicated that the people wore some uniforms and you were describing them. How come they are ginger-colored uniforms and not police blue?
My lord, you mean which of them, the operatives or the police?
Whoever you went out with.
Yes, sir. We have the police and the operatives.
And the police were in black or blue-black police uniform?
Yes, sir. Yes, my lord. Blue, black, and camouflage. We have these police camouflage uniforms. Then they wear the vests, the bulletproof vests with their helmets.
So who were in the brown or
They are the operatives.
I thought you said they were wearing black T-shirts.
Yes, sir. They wear black T-shirts. Yeah. You know, the brown gown that they wear, normally when they go for training, that's what they wear. But most of them, they are supposed to wear the black top with other jeans or something. But because they want to be uniform, they want to be in uniformity, they decide to wear the uniform that they used in training for them that they wear.
Are you saying that the men when they are going on operation, decide what to wear?
No, my Lord. No, my Lord. But because, my Lord, when they do that, they appear uniformed, and which makes for ease of identification. You know, when we go out and maybe we engage, you will know that this man is with you, this man is with you.
So this is an approved uniform?
Not really, not really. It's only the T-shirt that have been issued to them to be wearing. But the other accoutrement, they get it from training. That when they go for training, that's what they use.
You mean the police officers?
No, sir, the police, the operatives.
And they dress as they like?
No.
As long as they are wearing black T-shirt, it doesn't matter what else they are wearing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, my Lord.
Okay. So how do you know, at any point in time, how do you know who in your unit is going with you, since they can wear whatever they want?
On this point, my Lord, I don't really understand. If you can elaborate a bit, because, you know, we have to...
These operatives are civilians?
Yes, civilian operatives, yes, sir.
But they
yes.
wear uniforms?
That is the T-shirts, yes, my Lord.
A uniform can be anything as long as everybody is wearing it?
Yes, my Lord.
So they wear uniforms, but they are civilians?
Yes, my Lord.
And you say they wear that ginger-colored trousers because that's what they wear when they go for training?
Yes, my Lord.
So you are, in a sense, it's become an approved uniform for operations?
My Lord, with all due respect, that is not approved. It's not the approved uniform.
But they wear it anyway, and nobody has complained, least of all their commander. Now, these police officers assigned to your unit, you say there's no time limit for them to stay?
Yes, my Lord.
But you said they were seconded. Are you using seconding in a loose fashion?
Yes, sir. My Lord, actually they have been transferred.
So it's a transfer?
Yes, my Lord.
Okay.
And my Lord, I have the records of our transfer, the postings, okay, everything here.
So you are also on transfer?
Yes, sir.
To the National Security?
Ours is postings, the officers posting.
And you say that you have an administrative relationship with the Director General of Operations?
Yes, my Lord.
So if the Director General of Operations says he doesn't know you, what would be your reaction to?
My Lord, I will be surprised.
Okay. You said that you had a national security assignment to go on confidence building.
Yes, my Lord.
And you were supposed to go on patrols.
Yes, my Lord.
For confidence building. Whose confidence were you building?
My Lord, as part of the intel, we gathered that there were people who had infiltrated the constituency purposely to foment trouble on innocent civilians, taking advantage of the elections which was being held. So, as a contribution from the national security, we decided that we will show our presence within the area so that any potential troublemaker will revise his or her notes.
So was it confidence building or confidence sapping? Because you obviously went to sap the confidence of these people you said had infiltrated the constituency. So you arrived at the Presby, Labawaleshi Presby School
Yes, my Lord.
at about 8:15.
Yes, my Lord.
You were doing confidence building.
My Lord, as I stated, the intel included that there will be a possible cordon and search of a particular facility around that area. So we proceeded to that location and we're putting in place measures to make our deployment very smooth without any disruption to whatever activity is going around the area, including the free flow of traffic and the not to disrupt the election, which was also taking place in the adjacent buildings.
You said your activity was not election related.
Yes,
but
please.
you were doing confidence building.
Yes, please.
And you said you drove around the streets of the area.
Yes, please.
And this was supposed to intimidate anybody who had nefarious plans.
My Lord, not to intimidate, but to preempt any person who has the nefarious plans to foment any trouble. You know, we are showing our visibility around the area, but not to get involved in any election-related issue.
Did it occur to you that you would sap the confidence of members of the public who were going to vote?
My Lord, in a way, you may be in a way you will be correct to say that, but looking at the issue at stake of people trying to use some means to foment or inflict pain on other innocent Ghanaians, I believe, it was something we ought to do in the interest of the state.
So you moved there with how many vehicles?
10 vehicles.
10?
Yes, madam.
And this was not enough to intimidate anybody, so you had to go to a location and act up there.
Ma'am, my Lord.
Never mind. Go on.
My Lord, due to our numbers, we're 60. And the 10 vehicles, it was, my Lord, it was only the Hunter, that special purpose vehicle, which has been splashing all over the internet. Because most people have not been seeing it out in town, that was the early element of our convoy, which made the movement very intimidating. Okay. All right. So, thank you, sir.
Go on, please.
So, ma'am, that is the reason why, the convoy was long, because of the numbers. We could not, fix. We didn't have any alternative vehicles, so we used those small pickups. They don't pick enough passengers.
You stated in the SITREP that you went to that school for confidence building.
Yes, please.
And all the police and the civilians were all mixed up in these 10 vehicles?
Yes, please.
Was there a chain of command?
In each vehicle, my Lord.
In each vehicle?
Yes, my Lord.
So you indicated that you did not see the assault on the member of parliament?
I didn't witness it.
Because where you were was different from where that happened.
My Lord, I would like to explain that at the end of everything, when we were about to move, even, my Lord, I was even worried. I was, because I did not see him from the point where we were being pelted with the stones. I was worried that, what is going on? If something should happen to this honorable MP, what are we going to, or am I going to say? Because people saw me interacting with him, running towards that direction, and he goes missing. So as at that time, I didn't even know what was happening to him. So even when we were moving away, I was reluctant to move because I wanted to make sure I've seen him. But because we have to move, we're moving. And my vehicle, as I stated, my vehicle was on the main road in the convoy. It was in the main road, and the remaining vehicles have to arrange themselves before we move. Before we move, we arrange ourselves in the positioning that, original position that we had, so that we can move smoothly. So whilst I was looking at with the hindsight of the video, whilst I was in my vehicle and we were about to move, that was when the incident, and I don't know why the Honorable MP chose to come to the end, because I believe that was the 7th vehicle in the convoy. And I believe he could have even approached me. If he had any reservation, he could have approached me in my vehicle, because we were about to move, looking at the video that is showing. But he decided
Officer, I haven't seen any video that's showing, so I'm looking to hear from you what happened.
Yes. So, my Lord, it was with the hindsight of video that I saw that actually my MP was alive. He had no problem, but he chose to be escorted by people to go and attack my boys in the convoy when he knows that I was there.
Officer, you are making me sad. You had gone to a place, there had been a bit of a melee. Your MP was there. You were worried about him, wondering where he had got up to, because if anything happened to him, you would have to account for it. You didn't get out from your vehicle to look for him?
My Lord, apparently, he was part of those who entered the building, part of those who succeeded in entering the building, which was under lock.
Are you guessing, or you know for sure?
I know for sure, because those boys who were escorting him when he was alleged to be assaulted, I never set eyes, even they were not part of the riders. The uniform they were wearing. One was wearing...
The riders were wearing uniform?
No. They were wearing normal mufti. They were not uniformed. They were wearing no. But this particular gentleman who escorted him towards my men in the vehicle, they were also wearing the violet trousers with top black. Even one of them had his dress hooded. So I was asking, so where were these men?
So they were in uniform?
They were also in uniform, which looks exactly like what my men, my operatives were also wearing.
Now, you said that you were worried about him. So you didn't check up on him. So when did you see that he was with uniformed people?
It was with the benefit of the video. The video, which
so it is hindsight.
Hindsight, yes, my
So
Lord.
you have no way of knowing if they were uniformed people, and that he was with them, and that he took shelter in the locked building. You have no way of authenticating any of this information.
At that particular moment, my Lord, no, please.
Then why are you saying so? Why are you saying he ran into the building? He must have run into the building with them and so on.
My Lord, that is the information I got from onlookers, my Lord.
Civilian onlookers?
My Lord, yes,
gave
my Lord.
you information for tactical purposes?
My Lord, later on, after the incident, somebody called me and informed me.
After the incident, so what you are recounting is hearsay. You had gone to a place, you in police uniform, to do an operation. Your member of parliament shows up there. There's a bit of a melee. In your own words, there was firing, and you were beginning to worry about this office holder who must be endangered somehow. You didn't look for him. You left and watched a video later and heaved a sigh of relief that he's alive after all. Does that sound good to you, officer?
My Lord, as I stated already, the building, any possible means that we could have used to enter would have degenerated into something else because of the situation at hand at that particular moment.
Okay, when you move for an operation, there are police officers and there are civilians.
Yes, my Lord.
So who is in charge of the civilian component?
The police, the commander. Before deployment.
So they are assigned to you?
Yes, my Lord.
So you know who you are going with?
Yes, my Lord.
So you don't need their masks to be taken off before you know who?
Oh, my Lord, immediately you are masked because they are in uniform. Unless you remove your mask sometimes before I see.
But Commander, you said the mask is not part of their uniform. They use it to protect themselves from mosquitoes.
Yes, my Lord.
So if they are wearing them at a place where there are no mosquitoes, surely the commander is in charge and can ask people to dress properly because this is an official operation.
My Lord, I use the mosquito analogy as an
example.
example.
It was an analogy.
As an example. I use it as an example that mask that we use, it depends on the type of operation that we perform at a particular time. You know, sometimes if you say we are going to Tema, we are going to Takoradi, they know what kind of operation we are going to conduct. And for that matter, they pick the necessary accoutrements along. And I'm saying that mask, you know, legitimately, when we go on operation, they are allowed those who are known in the locality for the sake of their identity not to be known. They are allowed to wear it. But because it is on them always, based on the locality that you will be, you will be tempted to use it because you don't want your identity to be known.
So they were wearing the masks with your approval?
At that particular moment, I cannot vouch for that because, as I stated, during the chaos, I couldn't have the luxury of, looking at each of them who is masked or who is not masked, because it was so chaotic that even somebody masked himself, it will be after everything that I will see somebody. And they know that if you are not supposed to be masked and you mask and I see you, I'll ask you to remove it.
In the chaos?
They know very well that if I see you and you are not supposed to be masked and you are masked, I'll ask you to remove it.
So who are those who wear these masks, the policemen or the civilians?
Both can wear masks because we all perform the same.
So the civilians can wear uniforms and masks to go and do an operation at 8:15 in the morning at a place where there are school children, at a place where voters are going to vote. And it is such a dangerous war zone that people must go with accoutrements. Is that what you're saying, officer?
My Lord, it wasn't a war zone, my Lord.
I should hope not, because I drive there quite often.
Yes, my Lord.
And there were school children in school, went there. Or it wasn't a school day. It was a Thursday.
Yes, my Lord.
The children who had the day off.
That day, I did not, I don't know, it didn't occur to me.
So this firing, no, before then, you said you had set off to do this confidence building. Then you got information that there was intelligence that you should go and do something else, and so you went there.
My Lord, our core mandate was that there will be a probable cordon and search operation at a location. But before the green light will come, we will conduct a confidence building within the jurisdiction before we probably conduct the exercise.
So did I misunderstand you when you said I was given an information while setting off for our location that there was an intelligence of stockpiling of weapons or something like that? So I must go to that area to make arrangements for deployment. You said something to that effect.
My Lord, the information, it depends, depending on what, I don't think I stated this here. Did I state it here today?
Yes, sir.
My Lord, I did not state that I had, before we set out, the briefing was that there was a possibility that as we are going, there will be a probable cordon and search operation at a location within that enclave.
So that is why you went with 60 people.
Sir, my Lord, when you are going to cordon
you
off...
carry on, they are recording.
Okay,
so
when you are going to cordon off an area to operate, and taking into the fact that that day was an election day and there will be a lot of civilian pedestrians, onlookers, observers around that facility, we have to deploy enough men to ward off, to cordon the place, not by even showing, by positioning themselves so that if anybody is coming, they ward them off. That is the main purpose of deploying that number, to make sure that we operate and without any collateral damage.
You said you met the bikers going to the polling station.
Ma'am, we didn't meet them. Whilst we were there trying to control the traffic, I saw them coming towards the Bawaleshi Primary School in the convoy, escorting the Honorable MP with other 2 vehicles to the location.
And when they got there, what happened?
They got there, the pylon, some of the motorbikes were carrying 2 pylons, 1. So all those at the back of the bikes dropped down. Then the motorbikes moved to the back. And they approached where we were exchanging pleasantries with the MP. I was actually exchanging pleasantries. I was greeting the MPs. After that, I approached them and asked them of their mission in that area. Then they said they were coming to protect the ballot. Then I made it clear to them that they should see around. They should look over there. They can see police, immigration. The state has made enough provision for security, so their presence is not needed. And I was saying this with a view that their presence there might hinder our probable operation that we're going to. We may or may not conduct that operation that we relying on intelligence to conduct. If they are there, they may hamper our successful operations. So I asked them to leave. They are not needed there.
Did you link up with the one commanding the detachment at the polling station?
You know, ma'am, yes, I remember she's a police ASP. I only greeted her, but I didn't even, because she came to me because she saw that I'm a senior. So she came to me, we greeted each other, and she left. But I know she saw them because that aspect, she is supposed to report to the task force that this is what she has seen, because on that election day, it was made known to all parties, according to my sources that I have, that nobody should use motorbikes. There's no use of motorbikes within the constituency. So that action clearly was, a breach of the whatever arrangement that they had done.
As the superior, did you instruct her to inform the operations people that some people had breached the motorbike rule?
When she came to greet me, I called her attention to the issue. So I know by all means I drew attention to the fact that...
Did you instruct her to report, or you left it to her own wisdom to determine whether she should report or not?
Ma'am, because my mission there was not purely election related. And even I confronted them because of our impending operation that we're going to conduct in the area. That's why I even confronted them. I would have kept quiet. But because we're going to have an operation and their presence there was not needed at all, which can probably, hamper our smooth operation.
So it didn't worry you that motorbikers had arrived at a polling station in breach of instructions that had already gone out for you to take action on that?
My Lord, because they were in the company of two honorables, and I knew very well that it was well noted, and they will be reported, and the necessary action will be taken, because I didn't believe it lied in my purview to take that action.
You said you arrested 9 people.
Yes, ma'am.
What were they doing?
They were part of those who were surging towards us amidst throwing of stones and firing of gunfire at the back in the compound. As I told you, when we were approaching, they said in their numbers and moving ferociously towards us, pelting us with stones, and they were firing gunshots at the background. And that was where I asked my men.
At the background, how far from the place where you were? Because then you'd have seen who was firing.
No, actually, the firing was coming from because they were never more than 100. So the firing was coming from the back of the group which was surging forward.
And so, you ordered that your people should fire warning shots?
Yes, sir. Yes, my Lord.
And when they fired warning shots, you said the people then began to run helter-skelter.
They retreated, and
you use the expression helter-skelter.
Yes, sir. My Lord, I don't know what information got to them, because their movement was so spontaneous that they were surprised to meet us with warning shots. So they suddenly retreated and started to run, find any way they can. So most of them ran towards the gate. But not all of them were able to enter the gate. The gate was locked eventually. And those who could not enter, we say, okay, I will not let you go free. I'll arrest some of you for you to go and testify why you did this to us.
This was in a very highly built up area.
Yes, ma'am.
So there could have been people just coming to look at what was happening.
Well, the way the ferocity of the group which was moving, if somebody, I don't believe a bystander, onlooker, will join them to, move with throwing stones.
But you couldn't tell who was throwing stones. So
the group, yes, mama. Yes.
So the people you arrested, what did you arrest them for?
For rioting.
For rioting. You told
Yes.
them so?
Yes, the suspects.
Yes.
Yes, sir. For rioting and yes, for rioting. Initially, that was the charge that I gave them, but later we are reviewing what other charges we will level against them.
But you told them they were there. You were arresting them for rioting.
For just attacking us and rioting.
You said you arrested 9 people.
Yes, ma'am.
But the station diary records 7 people as having been brought to the station. So what did you do with the 2 others?
My Lord, to the best of my knowledge, I sent 9 to the police station and handed them over.
Were you there when the station officer recorded, or whoever, station orderly, or whoever does the recording, were you there when they recorded in their station diary?
I handed them over to the station officer and gave my particulars and the location they were arrested and stated initial report to them that they were arrested at this location for what I stated.
And did you add that you would come back for them?
Yes, sir. Anytime national security operates, when we arrest, or we get evidence or anything, we look at the appropriate quarters. Like, for say this case, for instance, we only hand them over to the national CID headquarters, sometimes BNI, based on the nature of the case at hand.
You said you had you called for reinforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point did you call for reinforcement?
Immediately we retreated. And the place was so chaotic. I radioed for reinforcement.
Who did you radio to?
I called the control.
Which control?
Police headquarters control.
You radioed to police headquarters?
Control.
So you didn't talk to the Director General of Operations?
No, I spoke to him. After calling him about the suspects. After calling him about the suspects arrested, then he decided that we should send them to the East Legon police station. And I added that, we will need reinforcement. But before then, because when you are going to call the Director at once, it will maybe delay. So when you radio, that one is more faster than calling it. So when you radio that one, any other unit around will react faster than passing through the director and going to.
You knew there was an election task force.
My Lord, I know for sure there should be one.
And you were not interested in getting to them first to tell them there was a problem in a particular area? You radioed to headquarters that there was a problem.
We needed reinforcement.
And you needed reinforcement. What kind of reinforcement did you ask for?
My Lord, the task force were not stationed at the Labaoleshi. They were at Legon. Legon.
You mean the backup?
Yes, sir. So they were supposed to come from Legon, and they came from Legon.
But if you knew that, why did you radio headquarters?
There was no means of, because our assignment on that day was not connected to each other. Even I did not even have the number of the officer in charge, the standby, to call. So the most prudent means was to radio for them to come around.
So the Director General didn't know who you were, didn't know you were around?
Director General Operations?
Yes.
He was aware because my Director Operations, Colonel Opoku, was in communication with him.
So why would he deny that he knew who you were?
No, I would like to hold brief for my boss, Director General. At that particular moment, because we did not, as a matter of fact, the Director General arrived at the scene when we had left. So when the pressmen confronted him, he had no information, proper information about the incident, because the information he may have was that some people. But at least if he had gotten the information that a team from some vehicles written National Security SWAT or one led by one DSP Azugu, he would know that, these are the people. But
who was supposed to make that kind of report when they were all bystanders and didn't know who you were?
My Lord, that is the question that we need to ask. The issue is, the Director Operations, Mr. George Mensah, did not say he doesn't know. He said he was not aware. So I would like us to give him the benefit of that.
No, he's been here and he has cleared all doubt. So he just didn't know you were going to be in the vicinity, and yet you say that you report to him, at least administratively. So if you had moved to a place and he is the Director General of Operations and there's been a problem, you don't call him? You just radio to control for somebody to determine that they should send reinforcement? What kind of reinforcement?
My Lord, I called, even after the arrest, I called my director, who directed that I should call Director Operations. So I called him. But then I added that this was what had happened.
So you did not call him for reinforcement?
Directly, no. I didn't call him directly, no. But I only radioed.
You said your people used minimum force to subdue those who were resisting lawful arrest.
My Lord, I believe the exuberance that was shown was something, me, myself, afterwards.
Brutality or exuberance? Let's pick our words carefully. Brutality or exuberance?
My Lord, they wanted to subdue the suspect who tried to run away from lawful arrest.
Were these the police officers? Were these the police officers or the civilians who came along?
So now I'm now previewing the video to actually.
It's been more than 2 weeks, sir.
Yes, ma'am. The videos keep different videos, so I cannot conclude that this, even though there are some of them I can identify.
But you were there, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
And you took the suspect to the police station.
Yes, ma'am.
At what point were they brutalized?
It was when we arrested them and we were bringing them towards the vehicles to be conveyed. When they got to the park, and some of them, on seeing that there were people around and whatever, they wanted to escape from even initially they were being escorted, all right, but they wanted to take advantage of the situation and sneak away and run away. That's why the boys also pounced on them and tried to subdue them.
By cutting them on the head with sharp objects and things?
My Lord, the sharp objects, I can't give any information on how those injuries were incurred, or how they came by those injuries. But we've seen that some of the suspects were injured later on.
And you said you thought that the blood stains in the singlet were because he had used his singlet to wipe the blood from his cut.
Yes, my Lord. Because I was saying this because I interviewed him. After we arrested in the vehicle, I went to him and I asked him, why do you people do this? Then he gave me some explanations. So I interacted. That time, I did not see anything, any blood oozing from him. I did not see any blood.
And when you got to the police station where you handed them over, there was no blood?
I did not see.
So who caused that injury, that bled?
My Lord, I think the cut that you see may be a cut which was covered, but because he disturbed it, sometimes that's why the blood was not oozing. So sometimes when you are cut and you decide to check if there's a cut and you brush your hand, then the blood starts oozing. So I think that was when the blood started oozing, and by which time I was not at the police station. You are
suggesting it was an old cut?
No, sir. No, madam. The injury was there. The injury was there, all right. But I'm saying that he himself did not tell me, even when I was talking to him, he did not tell me he was injured. We took them to the police station. And as at the time I was leaving the police station, he was not bleeding. But I think because the nature of the cut, it was covered, he used his hand to brush over it and the blood started oozing, even though it is a cut that is sustained during the arrest. So I didn't see blood stains at the point when I was leaving.
Where are your operational orders? As you brought some documentation.
Yes.
You must have operational orders for the operation that day.
That particular day, when we are deploying, when the orders comes from my director, so he prepares the orders and give us, So that operational orders for that particular day, I don't have the copy here. I can make it available.
By this evening?
Okay. I'll try my best, my Lord.
So how did you know who and who you were taking along?
Yes, there was a list. there was a list which was submitted from the police and the operatives.
So that is a list you have promised to supply us.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Please ensure that it has the service numbers of the police.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you said you were asked whether the civilian operatives, who they were, and you said they may have been absorbed.
Employed.
You said absorbed, and I wanted to ask you, absorbed from where?
They're employed by national security.
So would you know what work they were doing before they were employed by national security?
I can't give their backgrounds.
So,
I don't know.
So it is possible that they were absorbed, in your own words, from some militia group?
They were employed. They have been employed.
You used absorbed, so let's stick to absorbed.
Oh, my Lord, I would like to.
From some militia group?
My Lord, I would like to, with all due respect, remove or withdraw that word absorb, but to use employed.
Who was your predecessor? You didn't name the predecessor. You said your predecessor, but one, was an ASP Badu.
Yes,
but
ASP.
Who was your predecessor?
Theophilus Jikuno.
ASP.
Jikuno.
Then how come you are DSP and you are in that position?
Yeah, I was recently promoted.
You are recently promoted.
Yes.
So how were you identified and transferred to that unit?
It's the prejudice of the IGP, especially with the officers. He, at his own discretion, knows which officer to post at a particular location at a particular time.
You said when you decided to withdraw, the firing was still going on. You had gone to do an operation. It had turned out that there was firing, but you decided to withdraw.
My Lord, as I've already stated, at that critical moment, we had not put in place our principles of engagement, especially when you are going to search a facility where the place is densely populated. So, because of that, any reaction from us may degenerate into something else.
But you gave warning shots.
Yes, sir. The warning shots were fired into the air. Just to...
And you say you collected the casings?
Yes, my Lord.
Can you tender them?
They are not immediately, but they are in the armory right now.
When can we have them? Because we need to do forensic tests, as I'm sure you know.
Okay, yes, my Lord. Maybe from here, maybe I can produce them.
Okay. You said you don't know how the person who was wounded on the leg sustained the injury.
Yes, my Lord.
But there were a lot of other injured people too.
My Lord, as I stated already, it was only the 9 people that we were able to lay hands. And immediately we arrested them, we moved away from the location, from that location. Because at that time, there was a build-up of onlookers. A lot of people had converged at the place. So we have to withdraw and move towards our vehicles, which were parked on the other side.
So you abandoned the job, as you told the chairman?
Yes, my Lord.
And you filed a report?
Yes, my Lord.
an after-action report. You showed us a SITREP. A SITREP is not an after-action report.
Yes, my lord.
You are a senior police officer.
Yes, my lord.
So you know that when you have used firearms,
Yes, my lord.
there will be a judicial inquiry of some kind.
Yes, my lord.
What report did you file? Can you let us have a copy?
It's not here, my lord. It's not available.
Let us have a copy.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. I will leave off for now.
Yeah, Azugu, do you want to take some water? We know you've been talking for almost 3 hours. Please take.
Yes, sir. Let me take your advice, sir.
Or some coffee. Okay. A lot of the issues have been covered, so I want to concentrate on the mode of operations, the procedures, the coordination between the national security and the police. First of all, do you have a working relationship with the Directorate of Operations, not necessarily the Director General alone, but the Directorate of Police Operations? Is there a working relationship between the National Security Operational Group and the Police Operational Group?
My lord, there is a very good bond between my office and the Police Operational Group. I can give an example of a very good collaboration which we had with the help of the Police Operation Director. They provided men from Counterterrorism Unit, Police Investigation Intelligence Department, and National SWAT, that is at the headquarters. Together with my team, we proceeded to a location in the Eastern Region. The Eastern Region, now CTU, that is the police CTU. They joined us, and we went to a location for a joint operation for about 3 months.
Fine. So that operation worked well?
Yes, please.
There was no leakage?
No, please.
So you trust the Directorate of Police Operations?
Very well.
And they trust you?
Very well.
So normally, when you're going on such sensitive operations, do you give a hint to them?
My lord, my work ethics at the National Security demands that if I'm going to give any information to the Directorate at the headquarters,
Let's say Director General.
Director General Operations, which is supposed to be official. I don't.
Unofficial. Let's see. I said hint.
Hint. You know, if I do that, then it means that I am flouting the ethics of, because I'm supposed to inform him through my director at the National Security, so that if we are going to conduct any operation.
Okay, hold on. So you didn't?
Yes, please.
Then why is it that when the situation became serious, you didn't inform your Director of Operations, but you sent a wireless message to the police that you needed reinforcements?
Sir, I called my director. He told me to call Director General Operations.
Fine, hold on. Do you think then it's appropriate that as Director General Operations, you set off to do your things, you don't trust them, you don't want them to know, and then when you are in danger, you call your director, who normally is supposed to coordinate with the Director General, isn't it?
Yes,
Is
my
this
lord.
you, DSP Azugu, you call Director General Police Operations?
Yes,
Is that
my lord.
appropriate?
Ideally, my Lord, is not appropriate.
Good. Now, so that, assuming you're going for an operation at, let's say, and you don't tell the police director general, and you don't give a hint to the Eastern Regional Police Commander, and you are being attacked, that will be the time that you call for reinforcements from Eastern Region or from Accra. What would happen?
My Lord, it's a good. It's
a dangerous, isn't
yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
Let's start from the morning of, what date was it? The date of the election?
31st January, my Lord.
At what time were you given instructions that you'll be going for confidence building, and if possible, search, cordon and search? What time?
We were briefed around 3:30 a.m., but we set off from the operational headquarters, which was located at Abelempe. We set up an operational headquarters at Abelempe.
At about?
We set off at about 7 a.m.
Okay. What time did you go to the operational headquarters? And I don't mean you as a person, but your men. What time did you go to the Abelempe operational headquarters?
We all moved from the emergency command center from here in a convoy and went to the Abelempe.
What time?
It was between 4:30 to 5.
A.M.
Yes, my Lord.
Now the 31st, Thursday.
Yes, my Lord.
The Wednesday, what time did you close?
Actually, that I didn't go home. You know, we have beds. The provision have been made for us to sleep overnight and what have you. Everybody has his beds at our office.
So the 30th, you were informed that you have to be sleeping over up to 31st.
My Lord, because of distance where I stay.
No, I mean the men, I mean the group. Were you given any instructions about what you'll be doing on 31st?
Yes, we were informed that we should get ourselves in preparation, prepared for
some
operation the following morning, and we should report at this particular time.
Okay, so here is 31st. You prepared yourself. You set off at about 4:30 a.m., isn't it?
Yes, my Lord.
Where did they tell you to go?
First of all, I was informed that there was a possible cordon and search operation within the locality.
What locality?
The here was Wogon constituency. Because
no, what specific locality?
Laobawaleshi.
You didn't mention a point which will make it easier for you to.
Laobawaleshi Primary School.
They told you that we have
that area.
Cordon and search in that primary school.
That area. No, not in the primary.
Around
the area.
Primary school. Did they tell you anything about the house where you would possibly have to do the cordon and search? The house or some area or some premises, did they give any indication?
The description of the house was given.
Okay. And did they tell you who owned that house?
At that point, I never knew.
They didn't tell you?
Yes, my Lord.
So the information they gave to you was ideally, as you said, not sufficient.
My Lord, with my work at the National Security, I don't have cause to doubt any information.
No. You are a deputy superintendent of police in charge of a team.
Yes, my Lord.
Is that the normal procedure at National Security? They call you like a constable or like somebody, and then they say, go. They have to give you sufficient information so that you also plan. Don't you plan? When they give information, you plan, isn't it?
Yes, my Lord.
And depending on the information, you know whether you need this number of men or that number of men, isn't it?
Yes, my Lord.
And you will know which weapons to take, isn't it?
Yes, my Lord.
And you will know whether there is some danger ahead, and therefore you should link up with Director General Operations so that in case of need, you ask for reinforcements, isn't it?
Yes, my lord.
That's why I'm saying the information given to you was not sufficient. Because from your own training, if they had told you that that was the house of the NDC candidate taking part in the elections that morning, you'd have done your planning differently, isn't it?
My lord, depending on the situation.
From your experience, you would have exercised a little bit more caution, isn't it?
Yes, my lord.
And if they said you are going to, if they had told you straight away, if they had not said you are going to do confidence building, and then later on you may have to do cordon and search. If they told you on Wednesday night that please plan for a cordon and search on this house, you'd probably send people to do some surveillance, isn't it?
Yes, my lord.
As it is, you didn't do any surveillance.
Yes, my lord.
You didn't know whether the place was dangerous or not.
Yes, my lord.
And therefore, you were adequately informed to adequately prepare for risk, the risk that could happen.